Experience tranquility.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Iris. I am Ski Free Yeti, the hottest free agent in the Tranquility community. Welcome to the podcast, folks. I am here joined by a massive crew today. We are excited. Today is the Iris first ever fantasy draft. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited to bring that to you, but I want to go through and quickly intro everyone. Directly above me, we have Captain of Wrecking Crew and the most professional-looking podcaster we've ever had, the PC Scrub.
Hey, what's up, Chief?
Up to the upper left here, hiding without a cam, we have Nick Saul from Illusion, Captain. We have directly to my left or right, depending on how you're looking at the screen or how I'm, whatever it is. I don't really know. Directions are dumb. We have, you know him, you love him. It's Specs from Sugar Rush.
No one loves me.
Oh, wow. That's depressing. I start out the podcast on a positive note, dude. Just to his left, we have hiding behind the robot, the training bot, we have Gab, not Gabe, from the Omnic Turtles.
What's up?
Going up to the upper left, far left corner, we have Gillamed, fellow mod extraordinaire from Meteors. And last but not least, you know him, you still, do you love him? That's to be determined. We have Fuckington, Captain and mod extraordinaire from Alt F4. We got a big podcast today, guys, and we're going to go ahead and just start it off here. We want to get into some match recaps. And the first match we're going to be breaking down is Aimbots versus Liquid Nova, and PC Scrub is going to be taking that.
All right, I'm back.
All right, good timing.
Okay, cool. So what am I? Okay, I'm going to match recap.
Yep.
Right? Okay, so yeah, I was watching the Aimbots and Liquid Nova match a couple days ago, and then I rewatched it again today. Highly contested match. It was a 3-2 victory in the favor of Aimbots. It was on Eichenwald, first point. 100% a decisive map in favor of Liquid Nova on the first push. They absolutely were rolling it until Aimbots switched to a May. And after they switched to a May, they were able to slow it down. But hold on, let me... One sec. What is happening? Trash.
What's going on right now, guys?
That's true. Just trying to bring up the full score. Let's see. Okay, score. That's what I want. See, the one that looks most prepared is the one that's the least prepared. See, okay, so yeah. First map was Eichenwald, which went in favor of Aimbots after they slowed it down with the May pick against Liquid Nova. On Rialto, that was a full 3-1 in the favor of Liquid Nova. Volskaya, also in the favor of Liquid Nova. That was the last map played. A 2-1 victory. And for Aimbots on Ilios, it was a 2-1 victory. But overall, a very, very, very contested match. I just see Thug just creeping up. But yeah, overall, very, very, very contested match. Good plays from Albatross on Eichenwald once he switched over to a Hanzo. Man was slippery. Honestly, very slippery. Just hopping around, getting easy picks at the beginning. And that was what started the fight immediately. All right, I think I'm good.
All right, sounds good, man. All right, Thuggington, you had the match that took place last night: Omnic Turtles and Gravity.
Yeah. I just I'm thinking of a nice way to say this. Sorry, Gabe. This is a definition of GG go next. We all have those matches, man. It's nothing against Omnic Turtles, but GG go next. Just GG. Hey, at least it didn't take up a ton of your Sunday. Positives. and can we all agree? Omnic Turtles didn't lose a map 5. Silver lining, boys. No, it was definitely a one-sided affair. We've all had them. I've had it several times this season. So take what you can, learn what you can, move on. Also, this is a public service announcement. Do not reschedule to Sundays against Gravity. Make them play Wednesday.
It's almost like Orsted is available on Sundays.
I know.
I was not given this information. If I had known that, we would have definitely not rescheduled.
It's almost like that doesn't matter, though. Who would have thought?
To a degree.
Yeah.
Nah, it's Gravity is firing all cylinders, guys. So watch out.
All right, so Gravity took that 1-4-0. We're gonna go Meteors and Havoc next. That's Specs.
Oof.
Havoc looked dangerous again. They look really solid. I mean, it was a back and forth game. These are probably two of the top teams in the league, even though they're the records may not show it. But the tank play in this game was ridiculous. HQC and Dunzo are clearly two of the best main tanks in the league, obviously representing Tranquility through Ascension. But it was very back and forth. A lot of team fights were just simple coordination that were kind of off there. But overall, Havoc really are starting to look solid again.
It'd be interesting to see how things change for Havoc once the Goats meta is out, because we all know them as the Goats team. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Havoc. I think they're going to have to change, but I mean, everybody's going to have to change for what it's worth. There's a lot of Goat running teams. Moving on.
My team.
Moving on, we're going to go to Nick. Nick, you were covering Solo Cup and Alt F4, a hotly contested match.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of unfortunate circumstances for Alt F4 there at the end. The DC, especially with
lucky
the May having her ult, from what Thug told me.
Tears, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, like the maps are closer than the scoreline might suggest. I think Ilios, that first one wasn't as great, but that second map on Ilios, they turned it around. So I mean, a lot closer than what I would have thought. No offense, Thug.
I ain't mad at you.
But for me, what I really liked to enjoy was what I really enjoyed about it was the tank play between Silent Monkey and Light Rose.
Yeah, dude, that was fun.
Absolutely, those two are awesome. Silent Monkey is one of the newest pickups in the community, and honestly, one of the best mid-season pickups we've seen this season. With Cryptic out of the picture, I think Alta 4 is still a spooky team, and a lot of that is owed to Silent Monkey. They're getting their shit together, guys. Everybody watch out. Good team. We're going to go now to Gab, who is covering the first versus the worst. Otaku versus the Fighting Potatoes. A hotly contested match.
I'm just not gonna say it. I'm gonna go off the worst you said. The best playing the worst. I will say that the Fighting Potatoes did finally bring on a new DPS player in Sleepwalker, and I from what I saw, he looks pretty impressive. Otaku did win here, and they did win pretty commandingly, but you can't not notice or make a point of the assault map on Volskaya, where Fighting Potatoes got some points on the board. So I'm interested to see how the Potatoes play going forward. Missing Ski.
Elephant in the room.
Yeah, awkward. This is weird.
It's like you're talking about like the ex-boyfriend with a new girlfriend, right?
I know, right? I do want to mention, because a ton of people have asked the question. There was no drama or reason for me leaving like that, and it's not because I don't like the people associated with that team. I love the Potatoes. They're good friends of mine, and they will remain that. It just was a thing I needed to move on to have a clean split for my own sanity. I was just not happy in that role anymore, but it is what it is, guys. It's, I still love the potatoes, and they are going to still do great things this season. I'm confident, especially with Sleepwalker, man. Do not sleep on that. And I do want to mention one thing, because there was this rumor going around that I do want to put to rest, because I feel bad. I feel bad for how it happened. There was an incident where it was believed that there may have been somebody who was stream sniping. From after discussion on that, the situation was not a situation of stream sniping, more or less just an oops. I forgot that I was in here. I spoke to the person. I spoke to Yojak about it. I could see his stream. I know he wasn't deliberately sniping me, and the situation's resolved itself. I wanted to extend an apology to Yojak, because I feel like things got spread around, unfortunately. And Yojak's a good dude. He wants what's best for the community, and that whole team really wants what's best for the community. And I really want to say to Yojak, like, you're a good dude, and if there are bad rumors going around that you were sniping me or anything like that, I want to put that to bed right now. So I'm just saying that now so everybody can hear it. He did not snipe me. Yojak is a good dude, and he wants the best for the community. So just put that to bed, guys. I don't want to hear that going around anymore. I would not like to hear anybody thrown under the bus like that. Not cool with me. So anyways, moving on. That was Otaku and Fighting Potatoes. Sugar Rush and Wrecking Crew. This was definitely a match that a lot of people had seen going a different way than it ended up going, and I want to hear from Gil about that.
Really clean from Wrecking Crew. I watched it. That was just spectacular. They had the entire match on lockdown. Like the first point of Ilios looked a little shaky. Sugar Rush did a good job with the quad DPS, but once like that became a little less viable in terms of maps, like Wrecking Crew just ran away with the series. It was impressive to watch and really clean.
Quad DPS sucks. Don't use it.
The whole thing might change here in a day, so we'll see how the meta shakes out once we get to that. But kudos to Wrecking Crew, they brought it, and it was I was able to check out some of that, and impressive. That team has come a long way, had a ton of turnover, and they're really getting better and better. And they have a bye this week, guys. They're going to be 5-5. They're right in the thick. They're right in the thick of things. So do not sleep on Wrecking Crew at all. Last match to cover is Meta Rejects versus Harmony and Chaos. This one ended up going 3-0 to Harmony and Chaos. Harmony is okay. So I think everybody agrees that right now Otaku is probably playing better than any team in the community. I challenge that, and my challenge is Harmony and Chaos. The Harmony and Chaos right now is a very cohesive unit. They're playing very well together. And the amazing thing about it is, like, Maxix is obviously standing out. He's performing very well. Yeah. There's no question about that. Cav, Shadow Fear, we know how good that support line is. They're very, very good. But what I'm talking about right now is, like, you look at Steve Buscemi on that main tank. We did most improved player, and it was Light Rose. I challenge that, and I say Steve Buscemi is hands down the most improved player this season. He's playing just out of his mind. He's playing excellently on that Reinhardt and just commanding that unit and keeping them together. Dank Club on that DPS line along with Garbaggio. Like, that whole team is just ticking so well right now, guys. And seriously, I mean, Meta Rejects had a rough go. They were missing Peter, and missing one of the top DPS in the community hurts any team. So, but guys, like Harmony and Chaos right now, they're taking command of every match they're playing. They're winning every clutch fight. It's something to see, guys. And I think they are the one team in the community today who could stand up to Otaku and take them on an even level. So anyways, that's my take on that. 3-0 to Harmony and Chaos. That's the week in review, guys. Right now I want to move actually to normally we'd be doing power rankings right now, but we're actually going to be skipping those because, quite frankly, we have a lot of stuff to get done. I had a massive editing load because of the fact that your green screen is so scary.
It's just
it's given up.
I'm laughing
It's given up.
Specs is trying to be all like slide. Again.
I wanted to say something that's hilarious, man.
Fine, we're good.
Yeah, we're fine.
I've got mine hanging from the ceiling. Mine's hanging from the ceiling. You got how did you even hook that up? Like,
It's thumbtacked on the wall.
All right, so
Scuffed green screen.
I know, right? All right, so let's keep it moving here, guys. So like I said, power rankings took a step back this week just because of my massive editing load, and you'll see why in a second here, because we're going to be going into something I'm excited for, which is the official Tranquility Community Fantasy Draft. This was a lot of fun to put together and a lot of fun. These guys worked around the clock for the past 3 days, drafting together some teams. I just want to give you a quick layout of how this worked out. So the rules of this were, first and foremost, each of these guys were GMs of a fantasy team. I was not. These guys were all part of one. First rule, they could not draft anybody from their own team. Second rule, they could only draft one player per team. Third rule is that we did a snake draft. So it started with Thug on the first pick, went all the way around the horn to Gab at the 6th pick, and then Gab took the 7th, and then all the way back to Thug on the 12th. If you've ever played a fantasy sport, you know what a snake draft is, but that's how it works out. The final rule is your first 6 picks had to be 2 tank, 2 DPS, and 2 support. So we're going to get some supports love in here, which is necessary because supports don't get enough love. That's kind of how I feel about that.
Big facts.
So, guys, we had a lot of fun putting this together. Now, I'm going to say that, these teams weren't designed initially with the intention of playing matches with these teams. That said, we're not throwing that idea completely out if people want to do it. There'll be some polling up, and I'll explain that more once this draft is over. If you guys want to do some things with it, we absolutely can. We don't have to, but if availability allows, it'd be a lot of fun, I think. So, with that being said, we're diving into the fantasy draft now. And our number 1 pick in the fantasy draft was going, again, to Thuggington on his team, which he has called
The Lobby Throwers.
the Lobby Throwers, folks. We have Thuggington with the number 1 pick. He chose Tank from Havoc. We have Dunzo. Now, Thug, can you give a little explanation as to why you picked Dunzo?
I have there's a lot of reasons to pick Dunzo, but the first reason and the biggest reason, sharts. That's it. Just sharts.
No expansion on that. Just sharts.
No, dude, he's hands down. No offense to any of their main tank. There's like a bajillion of them in this call, but he is hands down the best main tank. Probably, maybe the
I'm
best.
offended. I'm sorry. I'm offended.
You should be. No, he's one of the best main tanks in the league. One of the best players in the league. And as soon as he gets those 360 shatters down, it's game over. Overwatch League, watch out.
Nice. All right. So, Nick, you had second pick, and what was your team named again?
I was very unoriginal with my team name. I went with Shark Bait, using the
Shark
old fish sticks logo.
All right.
Ooh, tough. I used Dracaris. We didn't say that one.
Yeah, we'll reveal logos a little bit later. So, Nick, you had the second pick, and you also went the tank route. You chose HQC from Meteors. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly talking about him on the podcast. So I think it just, the amount of times or the amount of things that we say, good things we say about him, just speaks for itself. And I wanted to build my team around a good main tank, for sure.
I would agree. I don't think you could ever go wrong picking HQC. He's playing too good right now.
He's fantastic.
All right. Third pick went to Specs. Specs, what'd you pick for your team name?
Yeah, so brought back low res. We were trash. That's all. That's it.
All right. So with the third pick, you went a different route.
I did.
You chose a DPS and arguably the best DPS in the community, Peter 6G.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't take any of my own DPS, so I was kind of handcuffed. But other than that, Peter's Widow is ridiculous. With DPS kind of coming back in the meta, that's going to be huge. But also Zarya, I think, is the best in the league. The way he builds energy, the way he builds grabs is just something that, I don't think a lot of players can touch in this league.
No argument for me. We've all seen it, and we've all been on the receiving end of it. It's brutal. Gil, you were the fourth pick, and your team was?
I chose to name mine after the Overwatch Tranquility League. Some people might not know about that certain Twitter bio, but
It's a little bit of a meme.
I use the Edgelords logo.
Also, hold on. There's an interruption needed here.
That's me.
It's Baby Thug. I'm sorry. That was too adorable. That I could not see that.
Sorry,
No, you're good. You're good. That was
Baby
adorable.
Thug.
All right, so fourth pick, Gil, you went the tank route and you picked up Light Rose from Solo Cup.
Yeah. Gotta build around a strong main tank like the other, or like two of the first three picks. And I think Light Rose has a lot of potential, so.
Meme.
All right. We're gonna go ahead with PC Scrub. You were the fifth pick, and you went the DPS route here, and I think you chose a good one. You picked Smugs from Otaku.
Yeah, he's a good buddy of mine. We played some other games other than just Overwatch, and then I wanted to pick a team that not only would play well, but also a team that I would enjoy playing with in case we actually do end up playing this whole tournament type of thing. I wanted to just pick like players that would actually have fun doing it and just overall be a positive player for the team.
No argument for me on Smug. That's for damn sure. He earned that MVP. So,
Damn right.
We're moving on now to number six at the end of the first round here. Gab, you closed it out. Well, sorry, your team name. I didn't get PC Scrub's team name. Let's do PC Scrub's team name first.
Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to meme real quick. Just hit a fat meme. I used the Teal Cowboys logo, so our team name is Horses in the Bag, just for the meme, because I thought it would be actually hilarious. So yeah, Teal Cowboys.
All right, so Gab, you had a logo that I don't think you were sure exactly what to do with, and I wasn't sure what to do with either. You had the Control logo, and what'd you end up picking?
You know, I had to end up doing with Team Dissension. And for my first pick, you know, I think you guys all actually messed up and did not pick the best main tank. I picked the best main tank in Kingdom. You guys saw his climb.
Kingdom's the main tank.
You guys saw it, posted about his climb. You reaching, I believe he reached Masters not long ago. So.
Masters.
Hey.
Yeah.
The dude climbed from mid-plat to Masters this season. Like,
Right.
It's just nuts.
That guy.
Just nuts. Freaking nutty, man. And Gab, you weren't done. You had the first pick of the second round here. And what did Dissension pick for their second one?
So, after getting the main tank, I thought what other positions really are important, not only in this meta, but going forward. And I was looking for support, because I knew everyone was looking for the flashy DPS players. And I think that there's a lot of great DPS players all around the league. And so I ended up picking Arise from Meteors. I think he's a great support.
Sure.
He's also part of our enemy team, Team Ascension. So hopefully there isn't too much conflict there.
The conflict of interest is real here, man. First support off of the board was Arise, and I think that surprises pretty much nobody. We're gonna go to PC Scrub next. PC Scrub, your second pick in the second round. Tell me a little bit about who you picked up and why.
Yeah, so I picked up Kitty Baka, also known as the only non-toxic person on Meteors. So yeah, big shots. Yeah, but I wanted a very solid diva player, especially in this GOATS meta. Diva is one of the people that obviously makes the space and allows for the team to make a good push. So I've seen Kitty Baka and hit some fat like diva bombs and stuff like that. So I figured get one of the best divas in the league.
Definitely a good pickup. No argument for me on that one. Gil, coming back with you on your team here. You had the 9th pick, and you also went the off tank route here.
Yeah, so I know everyone in this league knows Dunzo as the one who shits, but I would like to rectify that.
Rectify?
This past week, Courage took the fattest shit on our team that I've ever seen, and for that reason, I'm picking him up.
So basically, it's based on recency bias
Yeah.
here. Okay, that's fair.
And incredible flexibility. He played main tank too.
He plays. Does he play any support for them? I thought he played Zen in the
He's a
Goats
DPS
meta.
player.
Well, he plays whatever. He plays all over the place. He played as he was picked up as a tank in the draft. So, Specs, going back to you, your second pick, fourth pick of the second round. Tell us a little bit about who you picked and why.
Yeah, I mean, support's really, really important in every meta we're pretty much going to play in at this point. So I went with Cav. Voted the second best support player in the league. I thought it was really important to have a good off support and kind of a backbone of the team there. And it doesn't help to get on the good side of him. So.
I think Cav's a wise choice. Definitely no bias there. I'm sure. Not at all. Absolutely not.
Just here so I don't get banned.
All right. Next pick was Nick. Nick, I think you took a very controversial choice here. But can you tell us a little bit about your pick?
I took Orsted. I remember playing against him with Solo Cup last season, and he was pretty scary to play against.
Frig!
This was before the Orsted is a Brig main came up. His DPS play was pretty scary to play against, and I felt I needed to complement HQC's tank play with a really good DPS.
I'm sorry I took away from that a little, Nick. There, I couldn't
That's
resist.
all good.
The meme economy there was just buy, and I had to.
Fair enough.
All right, Thug, racking out the back end of the snake here. You last pick in the second round. I think you went with an equally controversial pick.
It's only controversial because it should have been picked before Orsted, but I picked Velzen. And really only picked Velzen so he would get picked before Tim, so he could always have that above him. No, dude, Velzen is fucking nutty, dude. And if this is a real team game, you have the main tank of Ascension coupled with the Zarya player for Ascension. Let me think. Sounds like a good duo to me. But yeah, dude, crushed it. And you all suck for not picking Velzen.
Wow, pulling no punches. All right, first pick of the third round, Thug. Back to you again. You went a different route this time. You already picked up a tank. You picked up a support, and now I'm sorry, you picked up a DPS. Now you went the support route.
I did, and I don't remember who I picked.
Oh my goodness!
Oh,
Wow, scrubby.
I really don't. I'm just kidding.
Fluffle Puffs.
Fluffle Puffs from Otaku. So Freedom gets a lot of love. Yojack gets a lot of love. Give love to Fluffle Puffs. A couple things about Fluffle Puffs. One of the best supports and top 5 name. Fluffle Puffs. You're
Big
not going to
facts.
see a Fluffle Puffs and go, oh, dude, Fluffle Puffs. Nah, watch. Now we have to watch out for shit. Fluffle Puffs is where it's at. Coming for you.
Fluffle Puffs?
Fluffle Puffs?
Fluffle Puffs.
Fluffle Puffs. It's just cute.
Fluffle
Everyone say it with me.
Fluffle Puffs.
Try saying that 5 times in a row.
No,
No,
thank you.
thanks.
I haven't had too many beers.
I'm good, Jack. I don't need to say it 5 times fast. All right, so Thug picks a support there. Second pick of the third round, and Nick, you went back to the DPS route. Tell us about who you picked and why.
I chose Freedom. There's not many DPS players that I generally do not want to play against. Freedom is one of them, and I felt that I had to have that on the team.
Yeah, I was at the first stand. I definitely face tanked a little bit of Freedom last week, so I understand that feeling. I understand that feeling in a big way. Specs, you already drafted Peter and you drafted Cab, but you haven't picked up a tank yet, but you changed it now. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, kind of went out of left field with this one. I went for the main tank from World for Silent Monkey. To me, he's the most underrated main tank in the league. Play with him pretty often. I think there's a lot of positives to him. He's a great shot caller, great team leader, and he's what's going to get all F4 in the playoffs. So
He said the word, guys. If you're playing the Tranquility Community Iris podcast drinking game, this is when you chug. So Next on the line here is we have Gil again, and Gil, you went with a DPS this time. You rounded out your tank line previously. You went DPS here.
Yeah, my strategy for the draft was just to work through roll by roll, and I decided to go for DPS a little off the beaten track. No like massive names, but I think Maxix is a really solid player who kind of got overlooked earlier.
Are you high?
I want to
No, that's
argue
PC.
against the massive name thing. Can I just argue against that?
You may indeed.
He is a massive name now. He's made a name for himself.
For sure.
Just saying. I'm just saying. I agree. Maxix, totally. I don't want to say the word because I don't want to make everybody tune out drunk. But that's the way it's looking right now. All right, PC Script, we're coming back around to you here. You looks like you worked on now picking up a support to complement your tank and your DPS you already picked up. Tell us a little bit about your next pick.
All right, so I picked Ivy Cat, who I think has slipped under the radar. Plays for Meta Rejects, and definitely, I was looking at like some old VODs and stuff. Definitely did a really good job, just like being able to be a slippery support and just avoid getting picked off. So I was like, sure, why not? I need a good support, so I threw her on the team.
I think again, I agree with you. Sleeper pick with Ivy Cat, super good player. She also plays some off tank, from what I've seen in the past too. So yeah, definitely super sleeper pick there. Next one here, Gab. You have a double pick. End of round 3. Looks like you had already picked up. You had already picked up your main tank, but it looks like you went ahead and rounded out that tank line here.
Correct. I ended up picking Emperors from Alta 4. I thought it was a pretty easy choice there. I remember when we were scouting Alta 4 and we were looking at their VODs, Emperors really impressed our team a lot. So that was a pretty simple pickup there. And then for the next pick, I finally got around to DPS, and I was able to pick up Grumpy Pants from Solo Cup.
Oof.
So yeah, the other team should definitely be scared of that.
Huge
Player, for sure.
Yeah, no argument for me. Grumpy Pants scares the shit out of me. He plays everything, and he plays it really fucking well. Seriously, Grumpy Pants is...
Oh.
Oof! Who'd we lose?
Specs briefly, but he's coming back.
Yep.
Just dabbing Squidward.
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Just tough.
Welcome
I know,
back,
my
buddy.
tie.
Welcome back.
We missed you.
My tie is see-through. It's just like a hole.
There's so much scuff going on right now. It's crazy.
NA stream.
All right, PC, we're coming back to you. Second pick of the 4th round. You're rounding out some DPS here. And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I picked up Lays off of Sugar Rush, and I was like, it was after we had played Sugar Rush that I decided to pick up Lays, and I was like, he's probably the best DPS on their team overall. I mean, he plays a pretty mad Tracer and can be really annoying, just kind of hopping around and stuff. And I mean, he plays for Ascension, so I was like, sure, why not? Put him on the team. So.
Good.
Are we okay, Thug?
I love watching Specs' reaction to everything.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty.
I
great.
thought you were laughing at my see-through tie.
No, I laughed at that already. We
got that out of our system. All right. So PC picking up Lays with the 20th overall pick. Now we are going to Gil. You picked up another DPS here, and a name that I think might slip under a lot of people's radar.
Yeah, it's someone who's been in the community bouncing around since season 1. I picked Bubbers, and I think Bubbers is also very underrated. And I think it's a good round out for my DPS lineup here.
Biggest weeb in the community, hands down.
Oh, I don't think there's any question. There's an entire.
Otaku exists, so that's
true.
Otaku exists, but I'm pretty sure Bubbers is a bigger weeb than Otaku.
Probably.
No offense against Bubbers. Oh man, that's too good. And now Specs, you were coming back here with your 4th pick. Tell us a little bit about this. You went the DPS route here.
Yeah, I think DPS at this level is what's going to win games, and I went with Anarchy from Havoc. I think he's super critical, especially in their Goats comp lane Brig. Watching Nerd stream, kind of going through that this week, it was funny to listen to his commentary. But his DPS and his Ashe is just next level. So
I think a lot of people sleep on him as a hit scan. but it's just because he hasn't really flashed in any, like on any streams or in the Widow 1v1. He just hasn't been around to do that. If you played Pugs with him, you know he's good. Because I played Pugs against him, and he's freaking scary. Spooky as hell. All right, so Specs wrapping up there. The 22nd pick, Anarchy, 23rd overall. Next pick in the 4th round, going to Nick, and you went with an off-tank here.
Yeah, I did. I've played with Mountainfall in scrims, trying him out for Illusion. Unfortunately, didn't work out. He ended up joining Liquid Nova. He's a really good main tank. I feel like he's a little bit underrated. But having played with him, having played against him, I know what he's capable of, and I felt that he complemented HQC pretty well.
Underrated.
I don't think Tyler took the trash out.
Yeah, I don't think Tyler took the trash out either. Whoa.
No, I did not take the trash out.
You are a mad lad, is what you are.
I'll be right back.
That's too good.
What the fuck is happening in this podcast?
I don't know, guys.
This green screen's disintegrating. Freaking PC didn't take the trash out. My kid's making an appearance.
There's a cat making an appearance now too there. So, oh God, I hope somebody clipped that. Please tell me somebody clipped that.
On it.
We're not gonna wait for him. He's a little bit down the path here, so we are gonna move on to Thug. You had a double pick here, end of the 4th and beginning of the 5th. End of the 4th, you picked up a guy who isn't playing tank much this season, but I think he probably could, maybe should, because he's dang good.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about your pick.
First, I want to talk about your rap game. On point, brother. You're like a damn poet. Dude, player is, like you said, not playing tank, and he probably should. The dude's nutty. The dude is super, super nutty, and I wanted a flexible player on my team that could play a lot of different roles. He just so happens to be listed as a tank on the roster, so I get to pick him up as a tank. It's like picking up Gronk as a tight end when he's not really a tight end.
Right.
More like a wide receiver.
Pretty much a wide receiver, yeah.
To pick him up that late, it's dope.
Yeah, buddy. And then you had the first pick of the 5th round here. Oh, good, it's clipped. Thank God. You had the first pick of the 5th round here, Thug, and you picked up a DPS that we talk about all the time, but for some reason never appears on those top 5 lists.
Dally. Dude. How was he still here? And I was going through my list. I'm like, okay, I need... Oh, Dally exists. I'm going to pick up Dally.
Okay, I'm back.
Thank God.
Thanks,
Took
son.
the trash out. Also known as years. Sorry.
No, I know Gil's freaking out in our chat. Like, my boy Dallas is still there, guys. Pick him up. Pick him up. So, yeah, had to pick him up.
Good pick. I'm surprised he was there, too. Moving down the list here, Nick... you looked in and pick up a support here, and I think you made a damn good choice. Tell us a little bit about your pick.
I'm not gonna lie, my knowledge of supports in this league is very limited. I actually wanted Ivy Cat. I was hoping she would fall a little bit later down the list. So I took the PC Scrub's advice. I went with Shadowfear. And I mean, looking back at how Harmony and Chaos is playing, I think it's a pretty good pick in terms of the quality of his support play.
Yep, the big part of the reason why they're at that point they are at the 5 and 2, or at that second in the standings mark right now. So, Specs, you took a name here that I was really surprised was still on the board with the 27th overall pick.
Yeah, for me this was a steal of the draft. I took Yojak. His monkey, his Rhine is just next level. He's the backbone of Otaku, and to me he's the reason why they're succeeding so much this year. I'm really happy with the way he's been playing, and I think he's definitely was slept on in this draft a little bit.
Absolutely no argument for me on that. I have said all season that he, in my opinion, is the best tank in the community. And there's a lot of good ones, but I think he would have been my first pick. And the fact that he was here alive at the 27th is insane. I think that's definitely the steal of the draft thus far. Gil, you had the 28th overall pick here, and you went rounding out that support line for yourself. I think you picked up a name that doesn't get talked about a lot, but again, the supports don't get talked about a lot, but probably should get talked about a lot more.
Yeah. So before I let you know who I picked, I would like to make it clear that I chose this based off of one Twitch clip that I think was from Thug's stream.
Got fucking hammered. Was it that one?
Yeah. So I picked Mojo, and the clip I picked was a clip of him just clutching out first point Volskaya, I believe, and that sealed the deal, honestly.
He's also a feeder, just to let
Yeah, he feeds like crazy. Damn.
Boosted diamond.
PC, looks like here you chose to round out your tank line. You'd earlier picked up Kitty Baka, and you went main tank route this time.
Yeah, so I picked up NPC off of Gravity, and I only picked him because earlier in the week I had set up a scrim for an open division team that I was playing for, and they needed a main tank, and I was like, sure, let me just throw my friend NPC on. Dude's hilarious, and that's really like one of the only reasons I picked him is because he's such a fun person to play with, and I was like, he's a good main tank because it's Gravity, but like he's really funny. So I was like, yeah, I need NPC on the team.
NPC is an awesome dude. He's one of my favorite people. He's one of the people who really puts himself out there for the whole community, and I think we all can definitely extend a gratitude to him for the things he does here.
Like strip on stream.
Like, yeah, rip off his clothes
Last
on stream.
week.
That was intense.
I can already hear the shirts ripping right now.
Shout out to him helping organize out that F Cancer tournament team that played last weekend. That was a lot of fun to watch, guys. I know you didn't win, but at the same time, it was cool. They raised a lot of money, and NPC, mad props to you, man. You put that, you really got that ball rolling. I know you were working with Mickey Mish as well on that, and it was great, guys. So
let's get some hearts in the chat for that.
Seriously,
NPC,
yeah, NPC,
chat,
man,
boys.
get that man some hearts in the chat. He deserves it for real. Moving on now, Gab, you had the double, the snake here for end of the 5th round, beginning of the 6th and final round for the stream, and you went with a support first, and team that hasn't had any picks yet.
Taifumi! Yeah. Pick him up.
Yeah.
Felt like a solid pick. We've scrimmed about against aimbots quite a bit, especially early on in the season, and he's always impressed, so I made sure to pick him up. And then one of the other picks that I felt people really slept on, especially on a team that plays DPS a lot. For my 31st pick, I picked Cognitive Pit from Sugar Rush. I mean, they're constantly playing 4 DPS lineups and whatnot. So
you got to say it right.
They always exceed with it.
The Cognitive Pit.
I'm sorry.
No,
the
yes.
Cognitive.
Yes.
And they don't always succeed with it.
So Gab got the double pick there. His team is rounded out. We'll be highlighting the full teams with bench players in just a moment here. 32nd overall pick and second pick of the 6th round. PC Scrub rounding out that support duo.
Yeah, so I was looking at like the whole spreadsheet that we had of like all of the players, and I was like, let's see, I need another good support. Let's look through, and I was like, Omnic Turtles hasn't gotten like any love throughout this entire draft. So I picked up your teammate. He's pretty good. He's pretty good support. I know he plays pretty good Ana and hits some pretty good sleeps. I've seen some like clips in like VODs from the previous games. He's a pretty good Ana player. So just needed a really good support, and I think he'll fill that role pretty well.
I agree. I think he's one of the linchpins of that Omnic Turtles team. I know Gab definitely would probably put a little respect on that name.
100%.
Gil, you rounded out your support duo here as well, picking up a somebody of the vegetative variety.
Yeah, so I had the honor of picking the first Potatoes player. And to be honest, I feel kind of bad, but I don't actually know all that much about supports that aren't on Meteors. So I was like, guys, can you help me out? And Yeti's suggestion I took, so I chose Sneaky Kittens from Potatoes.
captain of that team, the glue that holds the potatoes together. So
The starch.
yeah, she is the starch that holds the potatoes better together, and really just a hell of a support player. I would say massive steal of a pick. Really good support player for the whole community as a whole. So, and also captain of the greatest team of all time. So next, Specs, you went ahead and rounded out your support team too, and I think you picked up a really good one as well.
Yeah, kind of like everyone else here, I think the support knowledge was lacking for me a little bit. So
respectful.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, but I went after CrossFit on Liquid Nova. Kind of went back and watched a little bit of some of their VODs, and really solid player. Really think he rounds out the team.
Definitely good pick there from Liquid Nova. Big reason why that team is getting better and better as well. Nick, you came back here with another support, and I think this one also is one of those supports that doesn't get talked about enough. And I'll let you introduce them.
Yeah, I took Sacred Wallace from Sugar Rush. As I've said, and I think as Specs and Gil have said, outside of Illusion, my knowledge of the supports is not that great. So I went with Specs' recommendation on this one as well for Sacred Walrus.
Sorry, people were just reminding me of the Cryptic is a support god meme that arose on Saturday. So Sacred Walrus is a great pickup, though. That support line for Sugar Rush gets overshadowed by the DPS on that team constantly. Shouldn't be.
I mean, if they manage to keep Specs up in fights, they have to be
seriously.
Yeah.
He's not even debating it.
No question. And finally, the last pick of the 6th round here. Again, another support on the side of Thug here. And Thug, why don't you give them an introduction?
Yeah, I'd say outside of Alt F4, I know a lot about support players because support players matter too. I picked up my boy Memorex, dude. Kid is crazy good, and playing against Illusion or much because it can. There's a reason the team's doing really well, and most teams are built on a good support duo. So I could sure Nick could probably tell you a whole hell of a lot more about Memorex than I can. I'm not going to let him, but he could.
I could write a book.
This is a good. Know your support players, dudes. Figure it out.
No question.
Especially you, Gil.
All right, so guys, that was the 36 picks that we chose here. 2 tanks, 2 DPS, 2 supports for the whole community. So congratulations to you guys that made the 6 top starting lineups across the whole community. And I do want to go ahead and now introduce, we did continue drafting till every team had a total of 12 players, including the GMs. This does mean that some players didn't get picked. Just is what it is. So kind of
have to pay respects.
Yeah, so due to pay respects now for people who did not get picked. But I'm going to introduce the whole team now. I'm going to start with Dissension. That is Gab's team here. And taking a look at their full roster again, here's their full roster tank. You have Gab GMing that. You have Kingdom and Impulse on tanks, Grumpy Pants and Cognitive Pit on DPS, supports Horizon Typhumi. On that bench, you have at Dimtree. You have myself from the Fighting Potatoes. As of that day that it was drafted, I was a Fighting Potato, so we just stuck with it. Dark Requiem from Havoc. We have Pixel Rocket from Otaku, and Steve Buscemi from Harmony in Chaos. Look at the at Dimtrees in the chat. I love it so much. You guys are awesome. You guys are too good. Can you tell us a little bit about your bench picks, Gab? Tell us what you were thinking. You don't have to go into extreme detail. Like, who are you thinking here when you saw, like, who's a steal at this point in the draft?
I mean, who wasn't a steal here? Let's be honest. I know a couple people were upset that I theoretically did end up drafting the best free agent in the market right now, Ski Free Yeti. But apart from that, like, it's just all solid picks all around. I made sure to, have all the bases covered in DPS, tank supports. And I mean, you could just call it the winning team right here. I don't even know how we're going to play the tournament.
No argument for me. It's the team I'm on, so I gotta say it's easily the best in my book. PC Scrub, let's take a look at your full roster. Horses in the back. Again, we have Tanks, Kittybaka, and NPC, Smugs and Lays of the DPS, Ivy Cat and your teammate on the supports. And your bench players were Garbaggio from Harmony and Chaos, Spooderman from Solo Cup, Budgie from Havoc, Godspeed OP from Alt F4, or Godspeed Op. Godspeed Op. Godspeed
OP.
Godspeed Dope. And Jewish Missile from Illusion. Tell us a little bit about your bench. Anything that stood out to you as a specific steal or anything like that at this point?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we had solid backups in case like we actually do play this. I want to be able to fill all of the different roles, and I wanted to grab like the best talent available, and I think I definitely did that with the bench. So we're looking forward to play this thing. If we decide to play this, I want to win this thing.
I think Jewish Missile is one of the biggest steals on that for sure. I think he's in my opinion, he's a top 5 tank in the whole community. The fact that he wasn't drafted early on, crazy to me. It's crazy. So, anyways, beyond the point. Moving on now to Gil's team, the Overwatch Tranquility League, and we have. Your lineup again: Light Rose and Courage of the tanks, Maxix and Bubs on the DPS, Timojo Ho Manjo on support, along with CP Kittens, the feeder. And then your bench players: you had Azura from Illusion, Clopsy from Otaku, Frosty Clive from Sugar Rush, Kurt from Liquid Nova, and Gecko from Meta Rejects. Tell me a little about your bench.
Yeah, so I basically just went for like the best people who are still left. I don't know how Asura was still left. That was kind of ridiculous, but I think I got a bunch of really solid bench players, like arguably on the same level as the main roster, just like to keep it well-rounded.
Definitely.
And of course, there's the best player in the league, me.
That's funny.
Moving on now, we have Thug's team, the Lobby Throwers. And we'll take a quick look at those guys here. We have Dunzo and Player on the tanks, Velzen and Dally on the DPS. Supports are Fluffle, Puffs, and Memorex. Bench players, definitely some good ones here. T-Leo198 from Fighting Potatoes, Dank Club from Harmony and Chaos, Asian Lives Matter from Aimbots, Lelouch from Wrecking Crew, and Riley Bad from Sugar Rush. Tell us a little bit about your bench.
It was best player available, man. I can't believe Asian Lives Matter was sitting there when I was like going through. I'm like, well, I haven't picked from. Oh, hello.
The spooky bench you have there, buddy.
Just a spooky bench, and I have everybody, and I was really looking to make sure they could set up lobbies and do quick play rules. We don't want none of this competitive stuff, especially in playoff matches. We started the lobby.
Really, the Lobby Throwers is a lifestyle more than anything else.
It's a lifestyle choice.
All right, we're gonna move on to low res specs. You got quite the bench here as well. I love your pickups. You got Silent Monkey and Tank Silent Monkey and Yojak on the tanks. DPS Peter and Anarchy. Supports Cavalier and Crossfade. That bench is Sleepwalker from the Fighting Potatoes, Cinnamon from Wrecking Crew, Black Ninja from Illusion, Fossil / Peewee from Meteors, Toxic. Bestcon 2 from Solo Cup. Tell us a little bit about your bench.
Yeah, I mean, not only are we going to win an actual Overwatch game, but we're also going to win at throwing a lobby. So that was kind of the background with the team here. But seriously though, I think DPS was really the main consideration here, and I think I have 5 really good DPS players that could carry a team. So
yeah, there's no question.
Are we gonna see five DPS one support?
You never know in the new meta, man.
No.
Yeah,
It's called Plat.
Yeah, it's the same. We're flat. And then last but not least is Sharkbait. Nixel, tell us a little bit about your bench here. We had HQC and Mountainfall on the tanks, Orsted and Freedom on the DPS, Shadowfear and Sacred Walrus on support. I don't know how you get by with Orsted as a DPS, though, as a Prig main. I know. I said it again. Bench players, you have Melts from Meta Rejects. You have Ghetto. Wow.
Ghetto.
Geos
Oof.
from Solo Cup. You have Hooks R Us. You have from Modern Turtles. You have Killer from Wrecking Crew, and you have Chief E / Why Not from Alt F4. Tell us a little bit about your bench here.
I just watched Geos play in the Solo Cup game. He's a really good player. And I don't know if it's just the whole team as a whole, but his communication is really good. I feel like he's a sleeper pick. In terms of the other ones, Melts is actually, I think, a bit of an underrated DPS player, or maybe one that we don't really know of too much. But if he's on meta rejects, there's a reason. Kingdom is really good at getting that team together, and I think that he wouldn't have picked them up for a really good reason.
So that's the overall teams, guys. Like I was saying before, we are going to have some fun. Oop, I did that. Bring up that. That's really funny that brought up that for the record. I don't know why. Honestly, I didn't intentionally do that. I swear. It's just really funny, though. I'm not even mad. Oh God. Orsted, it wasn't intentional. I swear. I don't know why I did that. I'm dead serious, bro. Oh God. Okay. Anyways, that was too funny. So that's the teams, guys. So what we're gonna do now, first and foremost, is I'm gonna be putting these team rosters into the predictions and polls channel in the Iris. What I want you guys to do is basically pick your favorite team. Who's the team you feel like who was drafted the best? Which team would win? Pick any
Horses
team.
in the
You
back.
can pick any team you want. You can pick multiple teams if you want, but we're looking for the team, and the winner of that is going to have some bragging rights. And like I said, also I'm going to put a straw poll out there for people if they want to actually try to like put together an exhibition match with some of these teams, which I know some of the GMs here are definitely down for. I would be down to cast it. It would be a lot of fun to do, guys. If you guys want to do that, I'll put the straw poll out. We'll see if we can make something happen. You know, and like I said, there was a lot of situations where we had some people who weren't picked, and it's just because of the nature of the draft and how many people were in the whole community as a whole. So if you weren't picked, yeah, it's kind of how these things go, guys. I'm sorry. But congratulations to all those who were picked. It was a lot of fun for us to put this whole thing together, guys. I can definitely say it was a cool little process, but we'll have those rosters posted up soon. So we have a few announcements to get into before we get to the top 5 plays and predictions segment. First and foremost, we had the 2v2 mystery deathmatch tournament featured on Saturday. That was a lot of fun, a lot of chaos, and big shock. We had Orsted and Velzen took it down with a dominant, really just a dominant performance throughout the entire tournament until the finals. Nerdables and I Like Rice came in second there, put on a good show as well. It was a lot of fun to watch that. It was pretty silly to kind of see some of the picks come together. Double Roadhog is a dumb composition in 2v2. Double Moira in the hands of Orsted and Velzen is actually just legitimately unfair. So honestly, it was a lot of fun to watch, guys. I enjoyed casting it. The VOD is up on the YouTube channel as well as on the Twitch channel. It's a fun watch, and I solo cast the whole time. And I was pretty scuffed, but I pulled it together. Moving on here, we had another thing coming up. It was just actually announced a little bit ago. Thug, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. We got this meetup thing. Remember on the 6th? It's coming up. People are going to these things. It's gonna be dope. You want your jersey? You want to win a jersey? There is going to be a dope 20% off code. You guys get in there, check it out. I don't even know what the freaking code is because I'm scuffed.
NA stream.
Is in.
It's
God,
in the
it's
announcements channel.
It's in announcements. Just find it.
Yeah, it's
Just
in the
find it,
announcements channel, guys. It's 20% off all the jerseys.
It's huge, guys. Get your stuff. Rep the league. Sorry, community. Oh God.
Yeah, you can't say league. Daddy Blizz is coming. Jeff Kaplan is coming down the stairs.
Papa Jeff. Wait, Papa Jeff's coming?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Right?
I
You
open up.
better clean up.
Yeah. Get it, boys.
Yes, I'm still talking delivery. Thank you. Jeez. Moving on then. Last announcement here is on Thursday, guys. We have an event I'm really excited to cast. I'm really looking forward to what you guys can put forth on it. Is the Ana paintball tournament. We have a massive crew signed up for that. Over 40 players signed up. It's going to be a lot of fun. Some of these supports are going to get some love, and some of these DPS are still just going to flash and do their usual thing. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. I'm really excited to cast that on Thursday. Please make sure to tune in on this channel. It's going to be a blast, and I can't wait to see some of these supports really, really, really shine, and Belzen still find a way to win. So that's the final announcement of the day, guys. And what I want to get into is something a little bit more exciting. I want to talk about the top 5 plays of the week. We got some good ones for you, and we're going to begin it with from Wrecking Crew, with an absolutely perfect way to end Rialto here. The perfect Grav Dragon, if you will, set up there, and a perfect 6K. Just completely wiped out the entirety of Sugar Rush in one fell swoop. We have Squashhead 10 here from Liquid Nova, a first timer on this podcast as well, coming in with honestly a really cheeky play on the Roadhog, and they had a presence on the point for a second, but they don't anymore. Good job here from Liquid Nova, and great play from Squashhead there. Maxix from Harmony and Chaos, underrated, but comes in with the Nano and the Death Blossom, takes out 4, demechs the Diva, almost kills the baby, but the baby gets away. Sad day. Moira tries to get away. Nope, it's Maxix's kill. Maxix with the 5, with really a 6K. So great job from Maxix. And then Steve Buscemi, also from Harmony and Chaos, underrated, with the 6-man shatter and then the 6-man sweeping of the hammer. Super. Just he was on that all night, guys. It was really good performance from Steve.
Bowling pins.
And then last but not least here is Dunzo, the Shark Master himself from Havoc.
The Sharks.
My
boy Dunzo.
Really, really good play, wiping out the entire team with a shatter, and then he somehow manages to not pull a bumper, and he manages to stay on the map. Really, really awesome play here from Dunzo, and all in all, really good top 5 all around, guys. That was a lot of fun for me to look at. Make sure you're sending in your plays, guys. I'm still doing the loot box rewards for that. We just obviously haven't. Why is it immediately showing him every time? I'm serious.
Okay. Let it play. It's okay.
It's fine.
I'm not intentionally doing that. I swear to you, I'm not. It just does that every time I go back to the main scene. I'm really sorry, Doorstep. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know.
Doorstep's a brig man.
Doorstep, I'm so sorry. It's killing me. I'm serious. It's totally not. It's totally not legit. It's totally not legit. I'm sorry. All right. So top 5 plays. Gil, why don't you start us off here with your pick?
I gotta go with Dunzo's comprehensive dismantling of Meteor's defense there. Or maybe it was attack. It was traumatic. Yeah.
So we have Gil pick for Dunzo. Thug, what do you think?
I have to go for my number 1 overall pick. The Shart Master. That was a giant sharter. Massive sharter.
I see what you did there.
Dunzo, easy. Dunzo. That was huge, dude. And plus he didn't go off the map.
That's true. Gab, what do you think?
How often do we see hog plays on this podcast?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just one of a kind thing. And I mean, let's be honest, like, who doesn't like getting those well kills? Those are so satisfying to get. Just seeing them fall down there. I gotta give it to Squashhead.
And we had 2 for Dunzo, 1 for Squashhead. Nick, what do you think?
I'm gonna give it to Dunzo.
All right, we got a 3 for Dunzo. We have 1 for Squashhead. Specs, what are you thinking?
Gotta go Squashhead. Reform main tank player. Gotta give love to the off tanks.
That's fair.
PC Scrub, what do you think?
Well, since I can't vote for my own player, I'm going Squashhead, because that Roadhog play, though. Like, you never see a Roadhog play, like, anywhere in the top 5 plays of the week. Except, yeah.
That's the only place.
Hog goes fishing.
Yeah, right.
Now, for me, I wasn't going to pick either of them, but now I have to.
Because you're forced.
Because I'm going to break the tie. And
who are you going to vote for first?
I know. And who was I going to vote for? Honestly, I was going to go ahead and vote for Steve Buscemi with his shatter. It's kind of in an equal level with Dunzo. The charge is missing, but basically doing the same damn thing. saying it's the same thing. Dunzo did a little bit more with the charge, but I would have gone with Steve Buscemi, but now I need to break a tie. And for me, I'm going Squash Head. The reason I'm going Squash Head here is it's environmental kills, man. Like, it was just too good. So I'm going to be giving it to Squash Head here. Congratulations, Squash Head 10 from Liquid Nova. You have the top play of Week 9. So we will be posting that in the awards. And once we get to the next holiday event, you'll be receiving 2 loot boxes courtesy of me from that holiday event. That goes for everyone as well, guys. Send in your plays. I only actually had 7 to choose from this week. Y'all slacking. Give me some plays to work with, guys. I mean, somebody sent in a 2K. Like, for Christ's sake, like 2K. And I mean, I like having plays to choose from. Don't be shy. Send me your plays. Anyways, the last thing I want to talk about here, guys, is our predictions. Where was Tim? Nobody sent me his clips. I
NPC
asked.
did.
Well,
NPC.
Okay, I didn't see it. Like, it didn't get messaged to me. It might have been in a channel and I didn't find it later. So send it to me and I will take it out. So anyways,
the tip case.
it didn't come to me. I swear. No, you didn't.
Oh, NPC's losing his mind, dude.
Well, you know what? He probably wouldn't have won anyways. It was a good play. No offense.
He's a support player, of course.
He's a support player. He wasn't going to win. Moving on then. Let's get...
Fucking A, Gil. You're an idiot. You can't see them. Fucking A. It's so scuffed.
Don't rip my jersey, NPC. It's vintage. All right, moving on, guys. We have the predictions for this week, and we have the same graphics that we did last time. I'll be calling on a few of us to have a discussion about their picks. We're going to start with Harmony and Chaos and Aimbots, and this one was a complete sweep of the predictors here. Everybody is predicting Harmony and Chaos, and for me, it's not a slight on Aimbots at all. Aimbots is honestly a good team. Like,
yeah,
they have really good, talented players. Just Harmony and Chaos is so good right now. Like, it's just...
Right.
It's
Definitely.
just like it's not a shot on Aimbots, guys. Aimbots could take this one. I'm not going to dispute that, but for me, Harmony and Chaos is just playing too good, and I think they're honestly playing as good, if not better, than Otaku right now. So that's the reason I went 4-0 there. PC Scrub, tell us a little bit about what you're thinking when you see this matchup.
Oh, well, I know how well that Harmony and Chaos is playing, and just the leader of Cav. Cav is insane. And we played Aimbots first week, and we beat them, and I don't think that we can beat Harmony and Chaos, and for that reason I went for Harmony and Chaos as the better team. So I went 3-1 because I don't think it's going to be a 4-0. I think that Aimbots definitely has some good players on their team, and I think they could make it, I think it's going to be a close 3-1. I think maybe a majority of the maps will be decently close, but it's going to go in the favor of Harmony and Chaos.
All right, and last person here, Gab, tell us a little bit what you're seeing with this matchup.
I mean, Harmony and Chaos is just firing on all cylinders right now. I'm waiting to see if they're gonna start sandbagging near the end of the season to see what happens with that. But they're just playing so well right now. I mean, I can see Aimbots maybe getting a map, like I said, 3-1. The match will be close, but I just don't see Harmony and Chaos losing this one.
It'll be tough for our Aimbots, but again, don't count them out. Underrated, sleeper pick, all those other buzzwords. Tip your drinks up, boys. Next one is Liquid Nova and Havoc. This one was split. And we had a couple people go Liquid Nova here. I want to go to Nick first. You picked Liquid Nova in a 3-2.
Yeah, I think for me, we've scrimmed a lot with Liquid Nova. We've seen how far they've come and how they definitely don't deserve to be like a bottom tier team. They have a lot of talent, and I think Havoc's getting back to winning, but they've also been slumping as of late. And I think Player is going to be able to rally his guys and find a way to exploit that.
Thug, can you tell me a little bit about you pick a 4-0 for Havoc, straight up 4-0.
Because of Dunzo.
Specs.
and Dunzo, we are gonna get married on top of a mountain.
Apparently.
You're not invited.
Specs, you picked the 4-0 as well. Tell us about it.
Yeah, no, I think Havoc's really gonna come back into their own here. I know the meta's changing, and goats might not be as viable, but Dunzo.
Dunzo, man. Dunzo. Oh, God, that's too funny at this point. Sharpmaster Dunzo in the house. Meta Rejects and Gravity. This one looks interesting on paper. We had a split crowd on this one. We had a lot of 3-2s for Meta Rejects, a lot of 3-2s. We see 5 of the 7 people picking a 3-2 here. I want to hear from Gil on this one. Gil, you've been 3-2 Meta Rejects.
I think they're just going to be able to edge it out. Like, it's definitely going to be one of those maps where things like ridiculously close and gets decided in overtime by like a meter. But I think in the end, Meta Rejects is just going to get there that 1 meter farther.
PC Scrub, you went 3-1 here for Gravity. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, I just Orsted and Belzen. If this gets played to the point where Orsted and Belzen can play at the same time, it's going to be a 4-0. But I think I know Peter 6G is a really good player, and I think he's going to be the reason that they actually maybe make it close. It could go like a 3-2, but I think that the tank line for Gravity, NPC, they're just, I think, the better team, and I think they will beat them 3-1.
Gab, I want to go to you again here. What do you think on this one?
Are they playing on Wednesday or are they playing on Sunday?
As of right now, it's Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I mean, I think regardless, we'll go to map 5. It's really gonna come down to the final control map. I put the Gravity's gonna win, but it can go either way on that last map. Honestly, they're both great teams.
Absolutely. Next one I want to go to here is the Meteors versus the team with the meme dream, the Fighting Potatoes. Mostly towards the Meteors on this one here. And I feel like I should probably go first because I picked the Fighting Potatoes. Here's the reason. There's no Fossil this week. And really what it comes down for me with Meteors is what Meteors team shows up. Is it the team on the Meteors that is capable of communicating at a high level and playing at a high level consistently and not constantly fucking each other over and playing independently? Then yes, they will win this one. There is no question about that. That said, the Fighting Potatoes have made a lot of changes lately, and I think Sneaky is going to rally the troops, and I really do think that this is the first week that they're going to win, and we're all going to hear how Yeti was the problem in general chat. And I think it's going to be a interesting week here, potentially, for the Potatoes. Specs, you went the other opposite end of the spectrum, though, with a 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, but potatoes just look rough. That's
mashed potatoes.
Sure.
Thug, tell us how you feeling.
I put 3-1. Yeah, I feel like Meteors are gonna. They're working. I have to see more from the Potatoes, and this is not a hit on anybody, but I need to see more. Show us what you got, man. Now's the time. Now or never. This is about the time y'all got hot last year. Show us what's up.
You will see more, damn it. I promise you that. I'm not there anymore, and they're going to do better now because of it. So, all right, let's move on now. Turtles and Illusion. And again, it was split with just me picking the underdog. I went Turtles here, and the reason I did is because I feel like I have a lot of faith in Gab, not Gabe. I have a lot of faith in Gab. And I think Gab can compete with Asura, Velo, and Black Ninja on that DPS line for Illusion. I think the whole game will come down to the battle between a single Nacho and Jewish Missile on that tank line. I think is going to be, and obviously Black 96 also for Illusion too. I think whoever comes out on top from that tank battle will win here. I have a lot of faith in Gab pulling the troops together, and I think Illusion, they're playing really well right now. I think they might just be on the edge of a potential. It might be on the edge of a letdown. It maybe just like not quite showing up for this match here a little bit. And it's just I had this weird. This is purely a hunch. I think Illusion's the better team on paper, but I think for some reason I just feel like Omnic Turtles are going to win this one. I can't explain why other than my faith in Gab to pull it together here. PC Scrub, you went the opposite way. You went 4-0 for Illusion. Tell what you think.
I think that just the tank line on Illusion is going to be what carries them to the victory this week. I think Jewish Missile is insanely good. For DPS, I think Black Ninja, he plays on a Tespa team last time I checked, and I think he'll have probably some sort of standout play, possibly play of the week in this match. And I think this is the week. This is the week that Illusion might be able to prove that they are a very good team in this league and that they want to win this thing and make playoffs and so on.
And then last but not...
Can I just say one thing?
Go ahead.
How have we not proven we're a top team in this league?
They beat Havoc.
I don't think anybody's doubting your team.
They're a top team.
3 teams ahead of us. Just saying.
I think you're a top team.
Don't worry, that conversation won't happen after we beat you.
Oof.
Oof. Dab,
we'll save that for Wednesday.
The bulletin board material. I love the spice. Ooh. Now, Gab, you better bring it now. Now that you better be popping the fuck off on that McCree now, buddy. All right, so let's move on here. We're off of Turtles and Illusion. The next one I want to talk about is Solo Cup and Sugar Rush. This one, again, kind of a split crowd here. Gab, you went 3-1 Sugar Rush. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Sugar Rush. I think with the meta shift, they've been preparing this for, months now, playing that 4 DPS comp. Now there's so many DPS getting buffed. It looks like it's going to be just really strong for them now. And so it's exciting to see how they're going to play going forward with this meta change.
I'm excited to see it. I can't wait for this new meta because I'm so sick of goats. Gil, you went the opposite end. You went 4-0 Solo Cup.
Fuck.
Yeah. I believe in the power of the cup. And I think Sugar Rush definitely is a formidable team, but they aren't named after a cup. There's no way you can play against that.
You're not wrong.
I mean, that's a valid statement. They are named after a cup. Owned by the Solo Company. Okay. Can I just say that this meta is finally shifting towards DPS? We talked about this last week when we were making our Season 2 picks. NPC tore his shirt open and revealed the Sugar Rush logo. I just think with the DPS buffs we're going to be seeing, guys, I think Sugar Rush is good. I think they could sweep the rest of the season. I really do. I know they have issues right now. I know they're not perfect. They just got 4-0'd. I think their tank line needs work. I think and it's not a shot on you specs individually. I think their tank line is. I don't think their tank line is playing to the expectation that they should be to be able to help support and free up their DPS.
We're not.
So I mean, it's just it's. I think that's their weak point right now, and if they can get that figured out, watch the hell out, guys. They will be right there. And I think this week they start to figure it out. I think this week they win 3-2 over Solo Cup. Let's see here. Let's go to Thug. Thug, wrap it up here with your final prediction on Solo Cup and Sugar Rush.
I'm banking on the DPS thing. My prediction is they're going to put Specs in for the first 2 games. They'll lose because he's throwing.
Yep. Solid.
Good choice.
No, I think it's going to be a really good match, and it's always one of those things that as soon as a patch comes in, a new hero comes in, it's not an instant meta shift, and it's not like, okay, good, Goats is dead, hurrah! It'll take some time. It'll take some adjustment. But I think it's going to be 3-2 Sugar Rush.
Last but not least here, guys. I'm sorry for cutting you off there, Thug. Last but not least, we have the feature match is Alt F4 and Otaku. And Otaku is the best... I'm just going to let Thug have this one. Alt F4 and Otaku is the feature match coming up on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be fun watch, guys. Otaku, hell of a team. Alt F4 figuring their shit out in a big way right now. I'm going to kind of go around the horn here with everybody except for Thug. Gil, start us off.
Let me start off by saying that having played against the new Alt F4 roster, they don't underestimate them. Having said that, Otaku just looks unstoppable. Like, I don't really think there's much you can do. It's like, sure, you might be able to bench 300 pounds, but you can't stop a freight train.
Would you argue that Alta 4 is perhaps, maybe there's a word to describe them right now?
Rated exactly where they should be.
Okay, fair
Just
enough.
a little bit under, though.
Yeah.
Slightly under.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Gab, you went 3-1 Otaku here.
You know what? After seeing the fantasy draft, I might even switch up to a 4-0. I think Yojak's going to come in mad that he got drafted 27. He's about to just pop off.
Wow. Thug is feeling the burn on that one.
Yeah,
Is there a burn center in St. Cloud, Minnesota?
there's a couple of them.
All right, you're good, dude. Nick, you went 4-0 Otaku here.
Yeah. Otaku are just scary. I don't think there's many teams, and like Illusion included, the new Illusion included, who might be able to beat them. We're trying. We're trying to find strats, but I just don't see them. I don't see them losing a map this week at all. I'm sorry, Thug. I love you though.
Okay, I love you, bro.
Specs, you went 3-1 Otaku.
I did, and looking back on this more, all F4 can take this. Silent Monkey's a better main tank than Yojak. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Got him.
I really think he is. He's now that all F4 have a main tank and not a main feeder. They're a solid team.
Ooh.
Somewhere Cryptic Force is dead.
He's
Please
in the chat.
call 911.
I know he is. I love it.
Call 911. There's been a murder. Oh, he is dead. Oh man, he is more washed up than Tom Brady. Oh my god. Oh, man.
Nick Foles.
No.
Yeah, Nick
TB12.
Foles. Anyways, PC Scrub, you went 3-1 here, Otaku as well.
Yeah, so being a previous Otaku player, I definitely know what they're capable of, and I think Alt 4 though can take it this week. Honestly, like now that I'm like thinking about it, I know how good Otaku is, but I know how highly contested the game was when we played Alt 4, and I know given some time that they have like to develop and stuff, I think they might actually be able to take it, and it might be closer to maybe a 3-2 loss. Or a 3-2 victory in favor of Alta 4. We'll see. We'll see this week, though.
Hold up. You were on Otaku?
Yeah, I was. I played. It was a while ago. It was like right after Otaku like formed. I was a DPS player, and I ended up leaving because there was an opportunity to make a new team here. So
good to know. Now I know that. All right. So moving on. And then me, last but not least here, I bucked the trend. And I know Thug is going to cry himself to sleep with joy tonight because of this. But
You should see the Alt F4 Discord right now.
I'm sure it's popping the fuck off right now. I had a hard time with this. I really did.
That's what she said.
Otaku is a damn good team. And I really do think Otaku is a better team than Alta 4. But again, this is one of those matches that I feel like Alta 4 is in kind of a now or never situation. And I feel like Godspeed and Why Not / Chiefy, and I also feel like O Stories are just ready to pop off. And I think with Silent Monkey on that tank line, guys, remember this team is the same core that was one of the best teams last season. Obviously, last season is last season. This season is this season. But guys, like there's so many good players on that team, and I think this is going to be that one time out of 5 that Alta 4 just pulls their shit collective heads from their asses and wins this one. I really do. I think it's going to happen, and I think it's going to happen on the backs of O Stories and Godspeed. And I really do. I think they're going to carry the team.
And their support line. Just good.
I think it's going to happen on the back. I think it's going to happen on the backs of O Stories and Godspeed. O Stories and Godspeed, Thug. And no, Yeah, you got one shot, Mom Spaghetti, everyone. All right, guys, that is the last prediction segment of the day. I'm going to go back to the main camera screen here. If it shows the Brig thing, I'm really sorry.
Please.
Please show the Brig thing.
It did.
Just show it anyway.
Orsted's a Brigman. There it is.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Love it.
I have nothing to say. I'm so sorry, Orsted. I really am. I don't know why. I don't know why it's flashing that. I really don't. I'm sorry, dude. I promise you. I promise you. Anyways, that is the last bit of the podcast, guys. Thanks for listening in. This was an elongated podcast today, but it was a lot of fun for us putting this fantasy draft together. We'll be having a slightly smaller podcast next week with no crazy giant mega cast of casters next time. So for everybody here, for Thuggington, Gil, Gab, PC Scrub, Nick Sull, and Specs, I am Ski Free. What? It's backwards.
Free Ski Free.
Oh,
Yeah,
I wrote it backwards and forwards in case it didn't.
All right. For everyone here at the Tranquility Community, thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you
Free
next
Ski
time.
Free.
Experience tranquility.